What is up, guys? This is Alex from Double Move Sports back with another free agency video. We are about a week away at the time of this recording, and today I'm getting into the Cincinnati Bengals top 5 free agent targets. We all know they have young pieces on the offensive side of the ball with Joe Burrow recovering from that torn ACL. So we are going to get into some of these big names because the Bengals do have some cap space and some opportunity to make a splash signing or two in for agency. So before I do jump in, hit that like and subscribe button below. But let's go ahead and jump into this top 5. And at number 1 for me is Joe Thuney, offensive guard from the New England Patriots. And this comes down to the Bengals just really needing help on the offensive line. The offensive line ranked 30th in 2020 out of 32 teams. Yes, 30th out of 32 teams per PFF. So they're right there at the bottom. And I think Joe Thuney for the Cincinnati Bengals would make a great cornerstone piece for the interior of their offensive line. Joe Mixon struggled with inefficiency last season. I don't think that was all him. Joe Burrow also fought off pass rushers all season long. So Joe Thuney would be a huge pickup on the interior. We know they have Jonah Williams on one side of the line. Who knows, in the draft they might address the other tackle. Penny Sewell from Oregon is definitely in play for the Cincinnati Bengals. But regardless, they could turn this offensive line around pretty quickly if they're able to bring in Joe Thuney and also address the position in the draft. But moving on to number 2, I have Jonnu Smith, tight end from the Tennessee Titans. And I think this would just be great to give Joe Burrow a viable option in the passing game at the position. It gives them a massive upgrade there with a young, athletic player who can make huge plays in the passing game. He's a solid blocker as well. At the tight end spot, you don't find a lot of guys who can take a short pass and rip it off into a 50-yard gain and take it to the house. Jonnu Smith is one of those guys. He had a career year in 2020, 9 total touchdowns. He's been a popular free agent name for me in some of these breakdowns, and I think whoever ends up with Jonnu Smith will be very, very pleased with a very solid player. So Jonnu Smith comes in at number 2. Moving down to number 3, we finally flip over to the defensive side of the ball. I have Bud Dupree here, edge rusher from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Cincinnati, quite frankly, really needs help on the defensive side of the ball. This should give them a stud who can get after the passer. And yes, Bud Dupree does carry some risk due to his recovery here from an injury. But when he is at the top of his game, when he is healthy, he can be an absolute sack machine. He's still only 28 years old. He has several good years of production here in front of him. And there are some other pass rushers that could be available on the open market. But I think a guy like Bud Dupree staying in that division coming to Cincinnati would be a very, very good signing for the Bengals. And as we move down to number 4, we're going to stay with the edge rusher. That just shows how important that need is going to be for the Cincinnati Bengals this offseason. I'm going Hassan Reddick here, a little bit of a sleeper free agent. Like I said, the Bengals desperately need help in the pass rush. And even if they bring in some other guys, like, I don't know if they could afford both of them or if it would make sense, but even if they bring in some rotational pass rushers, I still would love to see them go out and get Hassan Reddick. I think they need a tremendous lift there, and some brand new personnel would be awesome for this Bengals defense. It would give them an identity. And Reddick is coming off of a career season with 12.5 sacks. He's super under the radar, maybe not so much anymore, but he is that feature pass rusher that the Bengals need. The Cardinals just picked up J.J. Watt, so they definitely have satisfied that need. They still have Chandler Jones there as well. So Hassan Reddick is expected to be on the move. He is only 26 years old. He's an athletic playmaker, and I think a fresh start in Cincinnati makes a ton of sense. But moving on to number 5, we go to the wide receiver spot. I have Marvin Jones here, and this would be a great reunion for Marvin Jones coming back to Cincinnati. It would be a great veteran pickup for the Bengals. Yes, I know they have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins there, but A.J. Green is expected to be on the move. So I think Marvin Jones, a guy who still clearly has some juice left in the tank, would be an awesome number 3 for the Cincinnati Bengals offense. It gives Joe Burrow a red zone threat. It gives him a deep threat. And this would start to create matchup issues all over the board if they have Marvin Jones, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd in this offense with a good running game. Hopefully, if they can improve that offensive line as well. So Marvin Jones here just makes a ton of sense for the Bengals. It would be a very, very fun signing to see. So really quickly, I'll recap these top 5. You got Joe Thuney at 1, Jonnu Smith at 2, Bud Dupree at 3, Hassan Reddick at 4, and Marvin Jones at 5. And that is going to do it for this video. Drop in the comments below what you think of this top 5. Let me know what teams you want to see me break down next. But again, this is Alex from Double Move Sports, and we'll see you next time.